Hi, I'm Tom McNamara, a technical editor at Maximum PC, and today I'm showing off an Nvidia GeForce GTX 970. This is kind of like the tickle me Elmo of video cards right now. It's kind of hard to get, and this particular version is from Zotac. It's their Amp Extreme Edition. So I thought I'd do an unboxing for you guys so you could see what one of these things look like in the flesh, so to speak. And one of the things I noticed about it as soon as I saw it was it has this sort of snakeskin surface on the box, which I'm pretty sure is fake. At least I hope it is. It doesn't feel very real. So you pull this out. This over there. And this flap just comes right up. And you see the nice shiny silver logo on the inside here. You got your protective flap, and it probably has instructions on it. Install driver CD, and then the card proper is this guy here. And you can see this is a pretty big card. Now I brought a GTX 780 for reference, so that you could see just how big the 970 is. This one's much longer. Officially it's 11.8 inches long. So I would call it 12 inches just to be safe when you're doing measurements for how much space you need in your case. And also this, the 970 is a bit taller, or I should say a bit wider than the 780. So if you want to do SLI, you won't be able to put these cards right next to each other. They'll need some space. So your motherboard might not be set up for that. Something to look out for. Also the Amp Extreme Edition, one of the reasons it's called the Amp Extreme is that Zotac has 3 different versions of this card. The regular edition, the Amp Omega, and then the Amp Extreme. And then for reference, the regular 970 has a clock speed of 1076 megahertz, and that boosts to 1216. Now this card has a base clock of 1203, and then it boosts to 1355. So its base clock is almost as fast as the regular 970's boost clock. So this is a pretty fast card. And then the memory speed for the stock version is 7010 megahertz, whereas this one goes at 7200 megahertz. So the core clock and the memory clock on this card are all boosted out of the box, and of course you can try and overclock that further if you want. And one of the things that'll help you is that this card also has 2 8-pin power connectors, whereas the regular 970 just has 2 6-pins. So with these 2 8-pins, you can basically deliver more power to the card and overclock it higher. And also, of course, this isn't plugged in, so you can't tell, but this area here does light up. I've seen it light up in red and green. And then there's also a micro USB port here on the end, and that plugs into an internal USB header on the motherboard. And I'm not 100% sure what that does yet. I'll have to do some more investigation, so you'll be hearing about that later. And then also it has a sort of this faux carbon fiber sheen on this back plate back here. One of the things that a back plate does is it gives the card more stability, so it doesn't hang on the motherboard, like if you have your motherboard like sets vertically. You know, if you're using a mid tower, then you have your card set like this rather than like that. So this back plate allows it to not sag. And then it can also help a little bit with temperature. And then it also helps just to make the card look nicer than to have the exposed circuit board. Some people just don't like that look. They prefer to have this back plate instead. So. Oh, and I should also say, so the card is also a bit taller than the standard Nvidia high-end card, about 1 inch or 2. That usually isn't as big of a deal. Sometimes with these cards, the taller part will go all the way to the end, so it'd be more difficult to put the screw in to install the card, but that isn't the case here. You have sort of a gap to get your hand in and attach that, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem. I've seen it for $410. Whereas the stock version of the 970, the entry-level, so-called entry-level 970s, come in around $330. So this is a much more expensive card. So I'll have to do some testing to see how much faster this thing is than the stock version, to see if it's really worth spending that much money versus a regular 970, or whether you should just go for a GTX 980. So stay tuned for that, and be sure to check out our other videos on YouTube, and thanks for watching.